Hey guys, so today's video is actually going to be a 3-part series of videos, and these videos are a long time coming and I've wanted to put them up for months, but honestly I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So I feel motivated to do it today, so I thought let's do it before I change my mind. So a lot of you guys know that about a year ago, last October, I had a laparotomy to remove some ovarian cysts, which were linked to endometriosis. And I put up a video shortly after that, a couple weeks after that surgery, to kind of talk about that experience, but I didn't go into very much detail because I was still recovering. And honestly, the recovery period was a lot more difficult for that surgery than it was for my thyroid surgery. So I just didn't have the energy to do a series of videos like I did for the thyroidectomy, where I gave updates the day after, a week after, 2 weeks after. So here we are a little bit over a year after, and I finally decided to talk about the laparotomy in detail, talk about the symptoms and what led me to go to the doctor to get diagnosed with these cysts and endometriosis, and then another video to wrap it up with my recovery period after the laparotomy and what I struggled with in that recovery process. So I know that when I went through the process, I found a lot of videos on YouTube talking about ovarian cyst surgery, but most of those videos were talking about laparoscopic procedures, which is what is considered the gold standard of surgeries for ovarian cysts and endometriosis actually too. But I did not really find very many videos about a laparotomy, which is a different type of surgery. It's still a major abdominal surgery, but it's actually an open surgery. So with laparoscopic surgery, they make a few small incisions in your abdomen and go in with tools. It's called a keyhole surgery. So they go through these little holes with a camera and the tools and do the surgery minimally invasively. What is the word? I don't know. But with a laparotomy, they actually do it the old-fashioned way, where they make a vertical incision down the length of your abdomen and open you up and just dig in there. So that's the type of surgery that I had. And again, with the thyroid surgery, what motivated me to do those videos was the lack of information that was out there for me when I went through the process. So I also found a lack of information about my laparotomy surgery. So I wanted to do some more videos to help people out there who might be going through a similar situation and are looking for some more information and some comfort knowing that somebody's been through what you're going through. So I'm going to go ahead and film all 3 of these videos right now, but I'll probably upload them across the course of the next several days so that I just don't bombard you guys with a lot of videos. So this first one is going to be specifically the laparotomy surgery and the process and what all that was like for me. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. So I had my laparotomy scheduled for the early afternoon. The surgery was scheduled for 1 o'clock, so I arrived, I think, at 8 o'clock in the morning. Again, same deal with the thyroid surgery, no food, no drink, nothing like that to prepare for anesthesia. And I got there, checked in, waited to be brought back to the pre-op room. And when you go back there, they have you change into a hospital gown. They have some antibiotic, antiseptic wipes. So this time I wiped down my full abdomen, the pubic area, all of that area, and just to prepare for surgery and to make sure I don't have any bacteria on there. And then changed into my hospital gown and got in the bed. It was very funny because I went to the same hospital where I had my thyroid surgery. So all of the nurses that were there for my thyroid surgery 6 months before were there for my laparotomy. And they all recognized me. And I thought, well, it's good to see you guys again, but I sort of hoped that I wouldn't be back so soon. And so I was back there with them and they were prepping me for surgery, getting the IV. Again, I struggled with those small veins. They had to stick me a lot of times before finally getting that IV in my hand. and gave me the anti-nausea medicine, lots of little pills like that to help with nausea and with pain and just kind of prepare you for the whole recovery after you get out of surgery. And the great thing about this moment was that my thyroid surgeon actually heard that I was there and came back to visit me before I went in for my laparotomy, which was so wonderful to see him. If you guys have watched my other thyroid videos, you know he is a saint. He is so wonderful, and I'm so lucky to have had him for my surgeon. And I just thought, wow, he's such a great human being to come back and see me before this other surgery. So I was really happy to see him. And I will say that I was ready for this surgery. I was ready to get this gigantic cyst out of my body and figure out what it was, because at this point I had no idea what it was. So I was less nervous for the actual surgery and just kind of ready to go. Let's knock this out. I'm not afraid of the anesthesia anymore. It went great the last time. My recovery was great the last time, so let's just get in there and cut this stuff out that's not supposed to be in there. So I was waiting for my ovarian cyst surgeon. What is it called? Oncologist, gynecologic oncologist. There we go. So he is a cancer specialist. He specializes specifically in gynecology and surgeries to remove cancer of the cervix, cancer of the ovaries, cancer of the uterus, all of that sort of stuff. So there was a concern that I might have some type of cancer going into this, which I'll talk about in the next video. But there was this concern, so that's why I was referred to him, because he specialized in this and knew what to do if indeed they opened me up and he recognized cancer being in there. So I'm waiting for him. He has a little bit of a different process before. With my thyroid surgery, I had a Valium thing put into my IV to calm me, and he gave me something else, some sort of pill form, tramadol, some sort of, I don't know. I'm not good with medications, you guys. I don't know the names, I'm sorry, but if you're familiar with the healthcare stuff, you probably know what type of pill it was, because it was a strong pill and I was definitely not feeling any anxiety at all. And everybody told me, oh wow, that's really, you're really calm, you must be feeling that medicine. But in my mind I was like, no, I just got this on my own. But probably the medicine did take a little bit of the edge off, I don't know. But anyway, I was feeling good. That's the most important point here. So they ended up delaying my surgery because my surgeon got delayed in his surgery before mine, and it actually took 2 hours longer to finish that surgery than they anticipated. So I was back in the pre-op room for a while, and I had to get up and pee several times, which was not pleasant, because when you have the IV in your hand, you've got to carry the thing with you to go to the bathroom in the hospital gown, freezing cold. I had to get lots of heating blankets and all that jazz. So anyway, I was ready to go at this point, and I was starving and I was tired. But all of my family came back to say goodbye to me. I will say a funny story here is that I have to get like a have my surgery pre-approved. Had my surgery pre-approved, and so they sent back a little letter from my insurance company saying that they had pre-approved me for my vulvectomy and hysterectomy. And I was like, no, I'm not having that. No. So it was on this piece of paper. So I grabbed the nurse and I said, this is not the surgery that I'm having. And it is very important that everybody knows this. So she called my surgeon, who came up and, clarified that he knew what surgery we were doing. So that was the most important thing. We were just doing an exploratory laparotomy, cystectomy, and possibly have to remove an ovary and a tube. So that all got sorted out. My mom was on the phone with the insurance company. She had them send over the pre-approval with the correct terminology, just in case. That was a freaky thing and sort of unnerving, but again, I was feeling good, so it was okay. I trusted my doctor and he knew what was happening, so there you go. So anyway, the anesthesiologist came back and she was hilarious. She basically called herself the bartender and said that she was about to mix the best cocktail that I've ever had in my life. So she was hilarious and put me at ease, and was just prepping me and talking to me. Everybody else from my thyroid surgery, all the nurses and the other anesthesiologists came to say hello, and that, you know, they hope they never saw me again. And I was feeling the same. So we got ready for surgery. At this point, it was close to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I was definitely going to be staying in the operating room or in the hospital for 2 days after the surgery, because it is a major abdominal surgery. So there's a lot that they need to monitor you for after. So anyway, they wheel me back. And this time, unlike my thyroidectomy, I was pretty wide awake. I knew everything that was happening. My thyroidectomy, at this point, I was sort of loopy in and out of sleep. This time I was wide awake. So I saw the operating room in full detail, all the nurses helping me over to the table, again, that terrible, uncomfortable operating table. And I'm laying back there and I'm thinking, okay, I'm starting to get nervous. Somebody knock me out fast, because I don't want to be, you know, conscious for this right now. So the bartender said that she was ready to give me my cocktail if I was ready to go. And I said, yes, please. Let's get this over with. And so she was like, okay, here it goes. And that was it. Out like a light. Did not remember anything about it. Don't remember fading into sleep. I just remember waking up. And I woke up in the same kind of post-op recovery monitoring wing that I was for my thyroidectomy. And I guess the level of anesthesia that they put me under was a lot deeper than my thyroidectomy, because I was out of it, you guys. It was pretty wild. I remember talking nonstop, but I can't remember what I was saying. And I just remember everybody laughing at me. And I do remember my surgeon coming in and telling me, I'm going to give you an update on your surgery. You're not going to remember this at all, but here you go. I just remember him saying that everything went great, and that's it. So I really don't remember anything that he told me at that point, but I will share what he told me in the recovery room. So my family came back to see me. I remember I kept telling everybody that I wanted to make cookies for the nursing staff and the doctors, because everybody, again, is so amazing at this hospital. You guys, again, I'm in Nashville. I had both of my surgeries at St. Thomas Midtown, and I just have nothing but good things to say about them. So anyway, I started to come to a little bit more, and they transferred me to, oh, it's starting to rain really hard. I don't know if you can hear that, but if you can, I'll try to talk louder. So we go to, oh, it's so loud. Okay. So we go to the recovery room, to my hospital room. I'm lucky enough that I got a private room after the surgery, and I was there to see all of my family. So I will show you guys a little bit about my scar. So they weren't sure if my scar was going to go from my pubic bone up around my belly button and up a couple of inches, or if he was able to stop at the belly button, but he was actually able to make just a 10 centimeter incision. So it's not the best looking scar in my opinion, but I'm just grateful that it's over with and that everything I survived. And you know, scars are proof of your survival. So we embrace them and we deal with it. So let me show you guys just a little bit about my scar. I'm just going to show you the top part of it. So there it is. You can see this scar goes all the way down to the top of my pubic bone. And at this point, they had a very large kind of pad looking band-aid over the incision. And I'm gonna see if you guys can even hear me, because if you can't, then I don't know what the point of this video is. Hold on just a second.